Hey everybody, welcome back to the show. You know, we live in a crazy wild world. It's like a whole different ball game out there, and sometimes things get lost in translation, you know? Like, you ever order a Coke and get Pepsi? No, just me? All right, well, get this. Some of your favorite brands, they're out there living double lives. Different names, same great taste, or something like that. We're talking about 14 famous brands with totally different names around the world. Stick around, things are about to get interesting. All right, first up, we're heading down under to the land of kangaroos and Hungry Jacks. That's right, folks, our beloved Burger King, the king of flame-broiled burgers, goes by a totally different name in Australia. Turns out, when the fast food giant tried to expand down under, they ran into a little snag. A small takeaway shop already had the Burger King name trademarked. Can you believe that? So instead of a legal food fight, Burger King decided to get creative. They teamed up with their Aussie franchisee, a guy named Jack Cowan, and voila, Hungry Jack's was born, and let me tell you, it's a hit. Same menu, same flame-broiled goodness, just a different name. And I guess you could say it's the same king, just with a different crown. You gotta hand it to them. That's some clever branding right there. They turned a potential disaster into a delicious success story. It just goes to show, when in Rome, or should I say, Australia, do as the Aussies do. Next up, we're crossing the pond to the UK, where our favourite potato chips, Lay's, pull a little switcheroo and become Walkers. Now, this one's a classic case of if it ain't broke, don't fix it. You see, Walkers was already a big deal in the UK, a chip-loving nation if there ever was one. So when Lay's, owned by the snack food giant PepsiCo, acquired Walkers in 1989, they decided to keep the name. I mean, why mess with perfection, right? It's like changing the name of Big Ben to, I don't know, Big Tom. It just wouldn't feel right. So there you have it, folks. Same crunchy, salty goodness, different side of the Atlantic, different name. But hey, whether you call them Lay's or Walkers, one thing's for sure, those chips are dangerously addictive. I once finished a whole bag in one sitting. Don't judge me. All right, next stop, Canada. But hold on, we're not talking about your typical Canadian experience here. We're heading to Quebec, the French-speaking province where even KFC has to brush up on its français. That's right, in Quebec, KFC transforms into PBFK. Now, before you think they've gone and changed the recipe, replacing fried chicken with escargots or something, relax. It's still the same finger-licking good chicken we know and love. The name change is all about respecting Quebec's strict language laws, which require businesses to use French in their branding. So, PFK it is. It stands for Poulet Frites Kentucky, which, you guessed it, is French for Kentucky Fried Chicken. Pretty clever, huh? They even kept the colonel, just gave him a little French makeover. Chapter 4, Dunkin' Donuts, keeps it short and sweet in Japan. Okay, let's hop on over to Japan, the land of the rising sun, bullet trains and donuts. That's right, folks. Dunkin' Donuts, the coffee and donut giant, decided to keep it simple and sweet in Japan. Now, you might be thinking, wait, didn't Dunkin' drop the donuts from their name a while back? And you'd be right. But in Japan, they're all about that donut life. They even have a special word for it, donatsu. So it makes sense that Dunkin' would want to emphasize their donut game in a country that takes its donuts seriously. And let's be real, when you're craving a donut, you're not thinking about the coffee, are you? You're thinking about that sugary, doughy goodness, and Dunkin' knows it. Chapter 5, Axe Effect or Lynx Effect, it's all the same. All right, fellas, this one's for you. Axe, the brand that promises to make you irresistible to the ladies, well, it turns out they have a secret identity in some parts of the world. In Australia, New Zealand and the UK, Axe goes undercover as Lynx. Now, before you start questioning everything you thought you knew about the universe, let me explain. It all boils down to those pesky trademark issues again. Seems like someone else already had the hots for the name Axe in those countries, but hey, a rose by any other name would smell as sweet, right? Or, in this case, a body spray by any other name would still make you smell like $1,000,000. Or at least that's what the commercials tell us. Chapter 6. Olay, the skincare globetrotter with many names. Okay, ladies, it's your turn. You know Olay, the skincare brand that promises to keep you looking young and radiant? Well, get this. Olay is like a skincare globetrotter. It's had more names than a Hollywood starlet. In Australia, it was known as oil of Ulan, which sounds like something a glamorous movie star would put on her face. And in Germany, it was called oil of Olaz, which, let's be honest, sounds a little more like a car engine oil than a beauty product. But hey, in the 90s, Olay decided to simplify things and go global with one name. And you know what? It worked. Olay is now a household name, synonymous with youthful, healthy-looking skin. Chapter 7, Milky Way or Mars Bar, a transatlantic candy swap. Alright, candy lovers, this one's gonna blow your mind. You know that Milky Way bar we all know and love, the one with the creamy caramel and nougat filling, all coated in rich milk chocolate. Well, get this, in Europe, that same candy bar is called a Mars Bar. I know, right? It's enough to make you question everything you thought you knew about candy bars. But wait, it gets even weirder. The European version of the Milky Way is a whole different beast. It's lighter, fluffier, and kind of resembles a Three Musketeers bar. It's like they played a game of candy bar swap across the Atlantic. I don't know who came up with this idea, but it's enough to give you a sugar rush just thinking about it. Chapter 8. Tide goes incognito as Ace, all right. Let's talk laundry, folks. Tide, the detergent that gets your clothes cleaner than a whistle. Well, it turns out it has a secret identity in some parts of the world. In Mexico, Japan, and parts of Europe, Tide goes undercover as Ace. Now, I know what you're thinking. What's in a name? It's all just soap, right? But hey, branding is everything. And sometimes a different name just resonates better with a particular market. Maybe Ace sounds more powerful, more effective, or maybe it's just easier to say in different languages. Whatever the reason, one thing's for sure. Ace is out there, cleaning up the competition. One load of laundry at a time. Chapter 9. Toyota Corolla gets a luxurious makeover as Toyota Altis. Alright, car enthusiasts, buckle up for this one. The Toyota Corolla, one of the best-selling cars of all time, known for its reliability and affordability, well, it turns out it has a more luxurious twin in parts of Asia, that's right. In places like Thailand and Malaysia, the Corolla goes by the name Toyota Altis. Now, this isn't just a simple name change. The Altis is marketed as a more premium, more upscale version of the Corolla. It often comes with additional features, a more stylish design, and a slightly higher price tag. Think of it like this. The Corolla is your trusty sidekick, always there for you no matter what. The Altis is like its sophisticated cousin, dressed to impress and ready for a night out on the town. Chapter 10. Budweiser gets shortened to Bud. Okay, beer lovers, it's time to raise a glass to this one. Budweiser, the king of beers, well, it seems even the king has to bow down to trademark laws sometimes. In Europe, our beloved Budweiser is simply known as Bud. Now, I know what you're thinking. What's in a name? It's all just beer, right? But in the world of beer, names are everything. And it turns out, a Czech brewery already had the rights to the Budweiser name in Europe. But hey, Bud is a pretty catchy name too, right? It's short, it's sweet, it's to the point. And let's be real, when you're craving a cold one, you're not going to quibble over the name on the label, are you? Chapter 11. Mr. Clean cleans up his act with multilingual makeovers. Alright, let's be honest, cleaning isn't exactly the most exciting topic, but this next one might just make you chuckle. You know Mr. Clean, the muscular mascot with the sparkling clean house? Well, it turns out he's a bit of a polyglot, speaking different languages depending on where he's cleaning up. In Germany, he's known as Meister Proper, which sounds like a strict but efficient cleaning supervisor. And in Spain, he's Don Limpio, like a suave Spanish gentleman who always keeps his casa spotless. It just goes to show that even cleaning products need to adapt to local cultures. I guess you could say, when it comes to cleaning, Mr. Clean knows how to speak the language. Alright, time for a sweet treat. We're talking about Cornetto, the ice cream cone with a chocolate tip that's been delighting taste buds around the world. But in its home country of Italy, Cornetto goes by a different name, Algida. Now, Algida is like the Beyoncé of frozen treats in Italy. It's a mega brand that encompasses a whole range of ice cream delights, with Cornetto being just one of its star performers. I guess you could say Cornetto likes to keep it in the family when it's back home in Italy. But no matter what you call it, one thing's for sure, that crunchy cone, creamy ice cream and chocolatey tip are a winning combination in any language. All right, let's head back to Japan for another round of deliciousness. This time we're talking about Dairy Queen, the land of blizzards and soft-serve ice cream dreams. But in Japan, Dairy Queen decides to keep it short and sweet, going by the name DQ. Now, maybe Dairy Queen was just a tad too long for Japanese consumers, or maybe DQ just sounds cooler, more modern. Whatever the reason, it seems to be working. DQ is a hit in Japan, with lines out the door for their signature blizzards. All right, car buffs, one last pit stop for this road trip. We're talking about Opel, the German car manufacturer, known for its stylish and reliable vehicles. But in the UK, Opel takes on a whole new identity, becoming Vauxhall. Now, this name change is a blast from the past. Vauxhall was actually an established British car maker long before Opel came along, but through a series of mergers and acquisitions, Vauxhall ended up under the General Motors umbrella, just like Opel. So, to avoid any brand confusion, they decided to keep the Vauxhall name alive and well in the UK. It's like a nod to British automotive history while still offering the same German engineering and design. Well, folks, there you have it. 14 famous brands living double lives around the world. It just goes to show you, global branding is no walk in the park. It's like a game of chess, where you have to think several moves ahead and anticipate cultural differences, trademark laws and all sorts of other crazy hurdles. But hey, at the end of the day, it's all about connecting with consumers no matter where they are or what language they speak. And these brands, they've definitely figured out how to speak the language of global success. That's all the time we have for today, folks. Tune in next time for more fun facts and hilarious shenanigans. Global branding is an intricate balancing act of maintaining a consistent identity while adapting to local markets. These 14 examples highlight the creativity and strategy behind successful brand localization. By tailoring their names to specific audiences, these companies have built strong connections worldwide while navigating legal and cultural challenges.